Hi, this is Isabel Florence, and you are listening to You Are Light podcast, a safe space where we talk about mental health and well-being. Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to the emotion series where we talk about different emotions and the healthiest way to cope with them. Today, we're going to talk about anger. This is a really interesting emotion and one that I struggle with. I really dislike conflict, really enjoy keeping the peace in every environment. And so to come with contact with my anger is quite difficult. To understand its benefits is quite challenging. So we're going to try and do that together. First of all, anger is normal. It is healthy. It is part of being a human being. It doesn't matter how much spiritual work you do. You will continue feeling anger, which is frustrating in itself. But another lesson. Anger is there to serve a purpose. It is there to protect us. It is there to motivate us to change certain aspects of our lives. And it is there for us to find where we need to express our needs, place our boundaries. Anger can also be a very powerful tool for self-awareness. It is a valid emotion that deserves attention without judgment. It is a signal that something is wrong and change needs to occur. In Buddhism, anger is seen as one of the three poisons, along with greed and attachment. These three poisons are seen as the root of suffering. Taoism recognizes anger as a really powerful force for good, because by channeling our anger in a constructive way, we can make positive changes in our lives. So from all of this, we can understand that there's two sides to anger. A very destructive side that can lead to self-harm, damage in relationships, feelings of shame and guilt. It can have a negative impact on our physical health with stress, anxiety, high blood pressure, and more. And it can lead to very emotional, uncontrollable reactions. There's another side to anger that is very positive. It can protect us from danger, from pain, from harm. It can make us stand up for our rights. It can help us communicate our needs and our boundaries in relationships. It can motivate us to make big changes in our lives. And it can work as a self-awareness tool, allowing us to identify and address underlying issues. So it's a very complex emotion and one that is quite difficult to get in touch with without feeling controlled by. I want you to remember that you are not alone in the feeling of anger. Everyone feels it. It's a completely normal emotion. We just have to understand how to not let it become destructive to ourselves and to those around us. So the first step to take to not allow yourself to become controlled by your anger and to allow yourself to invite this feeling into your life without judgment and with kindness for yourself is to identify the triggers. Is your anger externalized? Are you blaming specific people in your life for your emotion, your anger? It's the car in front of me in traffic. It is my partner that is making me angry. It is my boss. It is the situation that I'm in that is making me angry. You are the only person in control of your own self and of your own emotions. I want you to consider letting go of the things that frustrate you, that are external from you, that you have no control over. Or perhaps even sitting with the feeling and not emotionally reacting to it. When you are feeling this really intense sensation, what happens in the body when we experience anger is that the sympathetic nervous system is activated. This system prepares the body for physical action by increasing the heart rate, blood pressure, and blood flow to the muscles. It also causes your muscles to tense up, your pupils dilate, and your breathing becomes shallow and quick. These changes in the body are very helpful when we are in actual danger in a wild scenario. They give us the energy to fight or to flee, to run away, to save ourselves. It is protecting our lives. But if these changes are happening in our bodies day to day in a consistent way, in response to minor stresses or small things in your life, it can be very harmful, not only for your physical body, but your mental health, and I believe your soul as well. We are beings made of energy, and if that energy is constantly a violent, destructive energy, it can be harmful. We need the balance of the two. We need the destructive and the violent energy, but we also need the nurturing, the calming, the relaxing energy, the yin and the yang. So, as I said, first thing, identify the trigger. Pay attention to when you feel these things in your body. And then reflect on your thoughts when you are feeling these things. What kind of beliefs are coming into your mind about yourself, those around you, and your life? And I want you to write down every time you feel like this, because the more you identify exactly what it is that is causing you to feel like this, hopefully with some reflection, you can try and understand the root cause of this frustration, this anger. It is most probably about something more than the person cutting you in traffic, or what your boss said, or your partner. There will be feelings underlying the experiences that you are having. And a word or a way that someone spoke to you, a way that someone treated you, caused you to connect with that root problem, feel that root problem more deeply, and feel extremely angry about it. So it might not be about your partner not washing the dishes, not taking out the trash. It might be that you feel some resentment over the fact that you feel you are doing more than them in the household. Try to get curious about what it is that is underlying this frustration. Anger can also arise from ignorance or from beliefs that were passed down to you that you can let go of. Maybe you have this belief that people are either good or bad, and some people out there are bad and they are treating you really unwell. This belief, if you really think about it, might be an ignorance. An ignorance, for example, to the fact that maybe the person in the shops that treated you really unwell is having a really bad day, and it has nothing to do with you. So try to also be very honest with yourself about how you feel. Are you placing yourself in a victim mentality? Are you not being compassionate to other human beings? Are you vilifying some people in your life? Anger can also be rooted in unresolved conflicts from childhood or trauma. So there is also a need for having a curiosity over your past, the things that you've been through that cemented some of your beliefs that are maybe shaping the way that you feel today. So how do we manage our anger? Deep breathing. Breathing is the most powerful tool you can use when you are deep in this feeling, not being able to communicate calmly, to reflect over your mindset and your beliefs. So I would say the first thing to do is breathe. You can practice the physiological sigh, which is scientifically proven to be the most effective breathing technique for when you feel stress, anxiety, anger. 2 sharp inhales and 1 long exhale. Practicing this for a while will really calm your nervous system. And this will allow you to come back to yourself, to a more rational, more calm, more understanding, more compassionate self. Meditation also is incredible for managing your anger. It allows you to sit with your uncomfortable feelings and understand that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts come and go. There is a fluidity to it in the same way that your emotions come and go. And mindfulness practices can really help as well. Taking yourself back to the present moment, accepting your feelings without judgment. Another tool that you can use that is really beneficial for anger is exercise. It allows you to use this intense energy for a direct purpose. And with it being physical as well, it really helps you move the emotion through and the energy of the emotion through. Going for a run is an incredible tool for anger, because the forward motion of this activity really allows you to, instead of suppress the emotion, suppress the feeling, step into the power of it. Feel the power of this emotion. This can also be found with creativity, painting, drawing, dancing. All of these activities are in a way very physical, and they help us step into the experience, the emotion, the feeling, without losing ourselves in it. And being able to create something beautiful, something special from a painful emotion can change your perspective over that emotion, can allow you to start to understand that it is there for a reason and that we need anger to survive. These creative experiences, as well as exercise, also allows us to step back from the emotion, to practice some non-attachment, to understand that we are not the emotion. The emotion is part of the human being experience, and it is something that comes and then it goes. When it comes to anger in relationships, I want to advise you to, when you feel very intense emotions in a conversation or a discussion, step away for a minute. Do some deep breathing. Allow yourself to come back to your calm self. It is very difficult to feel compassion for the other when we feel so victimized and when we feel so angry. We take the stories that we tell ourselves so seriously that it is difficult to, when you are being controlled by this emotion, allow yourself to compromise, to see the other, to listen to someone else's perspective, to understand where they're coming from, and to eventually focus on the problem rather than the person, to understand that you are both in the same team and that you should see the issue as the problem, not your partner, not your parent, not your brother or your friend or your colleague. There needs to be compassion for yourself and for the other person. And when you are surrounded by this cloud of anger, it's very difficult to practice this, to practice compassion. And if this is an emotion that you deal with a lot in your life, it's important to look for help. It's important to talk to a professional, to understand, as I said before, what is underlying this feeling. Anger is one of the primary ways that depression can show up. So maybe you have been feeling angry and frustrated a lot because you're actually depressed. It can be a symptom of other mental health issues. So it's important to understand where it's coming from. And a therapist can help you with that. The most important thing to remember is that anger is not the monster. Anger is there to protect you, to save you, to keep you alive. You shouldn't hate on yourself for feeling angry. You should try to understand where it's coming from and then lead with the root cause from a place of compassion for yourself and others. And don't take yourself too seriously. We all get angry. It's part of being a human being. If you have any questions, you can always message me. I'm always here. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. All the links are written down on the show notes, as well as resources for anyone struggling with their mental health. Don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when we release new episodes. Also, feel free to share our podcast with your friends and family. And if you'd like to get involved, explore our content, or support our work, visit our website www.yourlight.earth. That's YOUR-light.earth. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at u.r.light. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.